My job, as I try to help you play better golf, is to cover all these various topics. The topic that we're going to talk about is punch outs. Now, I know you're thinking, Club Pro Guy. This is not a Club Pro Guy thing. This is one of these conversations that take place when I'm fitting somebody for a set of golf clubs, and they go, no, don't take my 5-iron away from me. I don't hit it a lot, but I use it when I'm punching out. No, that's not. Don't keep a club for a punch out. Learn how to hit a punch out, okay? So that's what I'm going to teach you how to do today, is to hit a punch out. Now, like and subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you follow us on all these different little channels, and make sure you let people know what we're doing over here, okay? So here we are. We're on the range, and through the magic of talented Gibbsy and some other things, we're going to all of a sudden bring up some trees on the right-hand side here. Now, I can still see the target in the distance, but there's all these trees that are over here on the right-hand side. What I want to do is I want to be able to just simply punch out of the trees. Now, let's assume, for the sake of argument, that I can make a golf, not a full golf swing, but I can make a swing, all right? Because when you're punching out, I don't want a full swing. I want a partial swing. And I want an idea in the punch out that it's a punch. And the ball's going to come out like low, and it's going to be moving. And typically, when you miss your tee shot, which most of you are right-handed, and most of you, when you miss, you're going to miss to the right, you need to know how to punch out and curve it to the right. I'll show you how to curve it to the left here in a second. But you need to know how to punch out and curve it to the right. So there's some real nuggets that I'm going to share with you here that you got to pay attention to. The first one is this. Let's say those trees are just blocking the right edge of you can see how they block the right edge of that target in the distance. I want to start my golf ball outside of that. Let's say you want to start it at the last barrel down the left-hand side to the left of the bucket there, or the left of the target. So what you're going to do is you're going to set up with that club face a little bit open because you want it to curve. But what's going to happen is when you swing, you're going to aim at the bucket, because that's where you want to start. It's going to end up going to the target, but it's going to start at the bucket. The problem that happens with you is this. You grip the club open. You don't think about the deflection that's going to take place with this open face, and you hit this shot, and it starts, and it goes right into the tree and hits the tree, and you don't get out. Now, what you have to realize is this. If I want to start the ball at that bucket out there, and I want to be able to curve it to the right, I've got to aim 3 buckets to the left of that. I'm going to aim at the 150 bucket with the club face open. It's not going to start at the 150 bucket. It's going to start at the 300 bucket, which is the last one on the left-hand side there. But I'm going to aim at that like I'm hitting to the 150. And now I hit that shot. And now it comes out and it curves. And watch the trace on this, because when this shows up, what you're going to see is that this golf ball actually starts in and around that 150 bucket. Now, it actually started when it apexed, it's curving the whole way. Its initial start line is about at the right edge of that 150 bucket. And when it's all said and done, it got to the right of the 300 bucket. And so I'm out and I'm in the fairway. And what you need to realize is that when this club face is in an open position, it will hit the ball and the ball will deflect to the right. So if this is hanging down like this and a ball hits it, the ball will go out to this side, okay? And you have to allow for that when you're punching out. A lot of people don't do that. Second thing is, when you're punching out, you have to do 2 things. The first thing is that this club has to get elevated and it needs to be coming down. I want to hit a low shot. So I'm going to grip down a little bit, and I'm going to make sure that that lead shoulder goes down so the club goes up. And I'm going to keep that lead shoulder. So I've got the club up in the air. Now I'm going to keep that lead shoulder down and zip this thing over to the left-hand side or to the pull side. So club face is open. I'm in here like this. The left shoulder is going to go down. And now I'm going to steamroll that thing out like that and spin it over to the right-hand side. And you can see that tracking out. Let's do it one more time. Lead shoulder. So we're going to talk about the seesaw. Seesaw that shoulder there. We're punching out seesaw and then rotate that thing around. Okay? Club face is gripped open because I need this to cut. And now I'm going to seesaw and bring it around to the left so that it curves over to the right-hand side. And that was a very good curve as well. Now, what do we do when we want to try to hook it? So now, let's take these trees and let's move them to the other side. And G, if you could, just erase all those shots so that we get a different look at the range there. That's great. Okay, now, so now the trees are over there. Now, I was hitting that punch out with a 6-iron, okay? When you start hitting hooks, you are going to play with a club face that's a bit more closed anyway. So you don't punch out cutting and punch out hooking with the same lofted club. I'm going to go up in loft when I go to a hook. So the 6-iron, which I used for that, I'm now going to trade for a 7. And it may be that you have a 5-iron and a 6. It doesn't matter. But you got to have your standard punch out. I'm going to punch out with this 6, or I'm going to punch out with this 5. But when I hook, I'm going to go more. I'm never going to punch out hook with a 5-iron. I just don't do that. There's no way, unless you got a limb that you got to rip it under and you're a really skilled player. No problem. So now I got 7-iron. Now, there are going to be a couple of changes that you make here. One of them is, instead of having that club face in an open position at address, we're now going to grip it in a closed position at address. So I'm going to take this club and I'm going to close it. So that's going to be the first thing I'm going to do. Shut that face. Now, the way you practice this on the range is you try to get an idea of, A, how high it is when you hit this punch, and then B, when it goes out, how much is it going to hook for you? Well, a lot of that's going to depend on how high it is. So the trajectory is really important, that apex. So close this thing like this. And now I hit that shot. Now, that one apexed at about, let's see, it's rebooting. So that one apexed at about 11 feet. It spun to the left a little bit. There wasn't a dramatic hook in that shot. If you go back to that shot down the line there, Gibbsy, yeah. So you can see there wasn't a dramatic hook in that shot. I need more hook. So now I'm going to take the club face and I'm going to grip it even more closed. So what I try to imagine is, where's the leading edge pointing? So for a right-handed golfer, that's at 9 o'clock. That's at about 8 o'clock. That's at about 7 o'clock, and that's obviously at 6 o'clock, okay? So I take the club face, and I set it to 8. It didn't work. So now I'm going to go to like 7. Then I'm going to grip it. So now it's at 7, and it's gripped. Now we go. I hit that thin. So let's discount that one because I don't like that strike. And your instinct is going to be to try to fight this club face. I don't want you to fight the club face. I want you to let this thing hook. You're on a range. You're not trying to get around anything here. Okay, so here we go again. Okay, now I got a little bit of a bender on that one. That one actually bent. It didn't get very high. The last one was 12 feet. This one was 13 feet. But watch this show up and look at how much this thing curved. All right, so I got a nice little curve there. It went about 100 yards. I got a nice little curve. And the apex, as I said, is only 13 feet. Now, how am I going to, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do similar things to what I did when I punch out cut in my punch out draw. The ball's going to be back, my weight's going to be forward, and I'm going to seesaw here, okay? So I'm here, and now I'm there. Now this one I hit a little bit harder. So this one's going to go a little bit more than 100, might sniff like 110 to 120. And 120 is what it is. It landed at 100. Okay, the apex was 19 feet. Look at the bender on that one. That still moved pretty good to the left, and it still had some distance to it. All right, now, the last thing is the technique. What am I thinking about with technique? It's the exact same. I'm going to seesaw, and then I'm going to let this club go. The difference with this one is, when I let this go, I'm not going to necessarily go as far left as I was going with the cut. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it travel a little straighter. The path of the club's going to travel a little straighter. So we grip down, we turn that around like this, and now my path isn't going to go this way. It's going to kind of just go down the line there. So lean left, and now I spin that thing around, and when it hits, it's still going to spin, and it's still going to be traveling to the left-hand side. Let's hit another one just like that. And I really feel this happening with my chest. So when I seesaw down, shoulders go like this, and then my chest is going, and it's really facing down to the ground. I'm not trying to hit this to the high. So I'm not trying to create a high apex here, okay? So here. Oh, that one was really good. That one was spinning hard. Yeah, and you can see how when it gets on the ground, now all of a sudden it's just moving to the left. It continues to move to the left. And when this pops up, go ahead and let that thing pull full there, Gibbsy. Look at that. That started to the right of the bucket, and then it spins around, okay? So it gets around those trees that we're dealing with. Now, one of the things that I love to do, and this is one of the things that I want you to experiment with, is instead of trying to hit one low, you're practicing. See how much you can hook the ball. Literally, like get used, just experiment, okay? So now let's just imagine that I don't have any backswing. I don't have to flight it down. I don't have trees to go under. I just have to go around trees. The higher this ball goes, the more it stays in the air, the more chance it has to hook. That one hooked, I don't know, I'm going to say 10 yards, 12 yards, maybe 15. Okay, now I'm not going to grip down, but I am going to take this club face. I'm going to set it like this. I'm going to aim way to the right here, okay? Now I'm going to hit this ball, try to hit a little bit higher, and see how much I can hook this. Now, watch this thing spin over here. This is spinning over, and it may continue to release, and it does. And this one is going to go, this one spun. Wait till this pulls up, because this is really fun. Look at how much that thing moved. That probably moved like 25 yards, 20 yards. That thing moved 20 yards. And that's how I'm able to control the get out of jail free card when I'm trying to punch out and I'm trying to create a hook. How much do I have to play with? If I want to get it out and I want to get it close to the green, I'm going to take that thing and I'm going to experiment. You know, I know when I point that thing to this, I'm going to get this kind of curve. And when I try to hit it higher, I get more curve because the ball stays in the air. So when you're learning how to punch out, one of the things that you have to do is you have to evaluate. Do I need to get this thing low and going? Can I get this thing high? How much do I need to curve it? You got to then experiment with messing around with the club face. When you're hitting draws or you're hitting slices, so-called hooks and slices, grip it so it's a little bit more closed. Grip it so it's a little bit more open. And then just see what happens. Like I give you permission to see what happens. And when you start to do that, now you'll have an idea of when you get in there, how to get out of there, how to punch it out of there and get yourself back into a position where you can possibly have a putt for par. To improve all parts of your game, subscribe to my channel and click the link below.